Well, hello friends and neighbors. Welcome to the front of my house. And we're going to take a quick look at some very bold and strong bourbons. Right off the top, and I hope I say it more than once, thanks to Chris, Music Man, on Instagram. Chris met me and gave me 2 samples. Well, no, actually, I think he gave me 5 samples. But today, we are going to look at Stagg Jr. This is batch 11. And we're going to look at a Jack Daniel's single barrel strength. So these will be my thoughts. Well, I thought I'd throw Booker's in there just as a comparison on a few cask or barrel proof bourbons.
3, 4.
Thanks for staying with you through the break. Since we're out front, there might be some disruptions during the shoot, but that's okay. As I was saying, Chris Music Man on Instagram, oh, what a gentleman. Actually meets me to hand off some whiskey. Just phenomenal. First thoughts here is going to be on Stagg Jr. This is batch 11. Batch 11 came out at 63.95% or 127.9 proof. You know, I need to look up a bit more about each of the batches. I'll confess, I'm not a Stagg Jr. expert. You know, of course, it's a Buffalo Trace product. I believe it's their low rye mash bill, which puts it under 10% for rye. I don't know the age of this batch. I'm gonna guess it's somewhere in that 7, 8-year-old range, that kind of thing. But we'll see. So. First, we'll do some thoughts on that, and then we'll look at the Jack Daniels. All right, going in. Nice, rich, strong caramel, spicing. You know, for that kind of, almost 64%, it's amazing how you can just nose and think about this bourbon. Of course, I'm outside. A lot of air flowing around. But that's how I would say, good caramels, light vanilla, deep cinnamons. Not too much fruit right now. That's the nose. So the second of our big bourbons today is a Jack Daniel. Well, so I guess it's a Tennessee whiskey, but it certainly meets all the qualification of being a bourbon. As all Jack, I'll put the mash bill down below, but it'll be about, what is Jack? Is it 10% rye? Whew, can't believe I don't know that off the top of my head. But I think it's something around that. So it's also a bit lower rye. This one is 64.5%. And it's a single barrel. So of course it'll be batch variations. Being Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey, of course it's also gone through that charcoal mellowing process that they do. Dramatically sweeter nose. Almost throw in some honeys. Like it's really quite sweet, quite a little bit of that characteristic banana, but in this case, it's not throwing me off. Just coming back to the Stagg Jr. Far deeper cinnamons, just almost aggressively cinnamon. And a bit of red apple. Whereas the Jack, yeah, there's definitely some very ripe fruit, sweet, mellow, and a little less burn on the nose. I don't know how old Jack is. I've read, somewhere between that 5 to 8 range again, so I think very similar age range. I'll nose this. This Booker's is a little bit, not controversy, but unknown. This is specific to the export market. It says right on here, 2019-01E, and in export markets you only get 1 Booker release per year. But it matches the percent for Teresa's batch, so it might be that. It is 6 years, 3 months, and it's 62.95%. And I poured a little heavier because I got a little more of it around. Got a little more oak on that one. Oh, it actually singed my nose a bit. It's almost like a like, you know, not middle point, but oh, this Jack continues to evolve into a very sweet corn. Yeah, Booker's right now in this, just this nosing is really getting a lot of oak from it. All right, we've been nosing long enough. I think it's time to go in. These are all without water. I'll be taking pretty small sips though, I'm sure. So the first, Stagg Jr. Good amount of heat. Darker, more cooked down caramels. Good amount of cinnamon. It's a little hard for me at this heat to really pull the palate apart. But we'll do our best. Almost a little bit of peanut on this one right now. This is the Jack Daniels. More layers in this one. Definite some nut. Bringing out some oak. Drawing on the finish. I like the palate of this one. More than the nose. The nose was starting to think a little too Jack Daniels. Palate on this one. Very expressive. Especially following the Junior, which was a little hot. Of course, I'll come back through it. It was the first sip of the run, right? All right, going to the Bookers here. Little sourness. Little fruit. Indescribable fruit right now. Oh. Very expressive palate. Lots of layers of different spices. A little off cinnamon, so I guess nutmeg or allspice. Quite a bit of wood, quite a bit of oak. I have to say, of the three, it was the first one to be fairly bitter. Now, I took a bigger sip. In my mind, I'm like, I got more of that around, so I took a bigger sip. And it actually kind of, not bittered up, but yeah, a little bitter. And I don't recall that earlier in the bottle. Okay, right now, this is tasting. I'm not going to give them a star value. I need to spend way more time with these to give them a star value. So I'm just trying to tell you like what I'm getting different about them. I'm liking the palate of the Jack Daniels and the nose of the Bookers. Yeah, the Stagg's a little, not very many dimensions in the nose, and it's a little hot on the nose. I'm going to add a little water, even though there's not that much bourbon in here. I just want to see kind of what a splash does. Oh, I'm going to have to pour a little more Jack in there. Are you guys enjoying this summer day? I'm back at work mentally, but not physically. I'm going to go back into the office starting next week, so I'm shooting a little more. Just trying to share a few more of my thoughts. So I didn't put a lot of water on these, but there really wasn't a lot of liquid in here. This is Stagg Jr. with a bit of water. That helped the nose. That opened it up. It's now still spicy, but the fruit in the palate is coming out of the nose a bit, which was nice. I wasn't getting it before. Definitely. Water helped Stagg Jr. nose a lot. Actually muted some of those overripe fruits, but they're still there. Not a big change in the nose for Jack. Bookers. Oh, that pulled me in. Boy, that's a good nose. Rich. Yeah, it stands out as the best nose for me. All right. If you're still with me, if not, hey, thanks for joining me. That was my thoughts. I'm going to go once more through to see if I can't rank them in terms of my favorite. I should have done that blind. Booker's with water. I'm still chasing a bit of a bitter wood in it. Almost a tannic wood. I don't recall that from before, but today it's there. The Jack with water on it. It's a little flat. Still peanut. Drying for some reason, which I like. Spice composition's a little flat in it right now. Stagg Jr., last time here. Boy, it's back into its bright cinnamon, little cracked pepper, high fruit like apple. And it's gone a little bit bitter. Huh, interesting. So I guess today, the Booker's for me, the nose was the best. The palate for me was the Jack Daniel's single barrel. It was quite expressive until I put water in it, and then actually it flattened the spices out for me. So that would be a tough call. I guess I'd probably, yeah. And the Stagg Jr. remained the hottest of the three. Hottest like bright cracked pepper, bright cinnamon. There was some decent fruit in there, but didn't lengthen the palate. I need to get a bottle of batch 11 or 12 and just spend, well, 12 would be different. Batch 11, spend more time with it. You guys, thanks for joining me here out front. Please don't comment about the state of my deck and how it needs painting. Instead, share with me your experiences about any of these barrel-proof bourbons you've had, and maybe suggest which one that you like the most. Thanks. You guys have a great week.